So Hare Krishna, welcome. We are doing our deep dive. This called free dive into first canto of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, second chapter, which is Abode of Nectar, wonderful philosophy, all the whole journey of Krishna consciousness bhakti from the very beginning to its highest conclusion. Also dealing with the different forms of the Lord and also just the other powerful forms within this universe. Why, what's so special about this worship, this bhakti unto the transcendent being, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna? And so now he's explaining his various avatars, not as specifically his expansions that deal with matter, that deal with this material universe. And so we're on text number 32. And so here, I can make, 1 second. Can I make my other thing also co-host? Make a co-host. Okay. I'm making Nityananda Chandra also a co-host. Look at that. Where is my Zoom? Yeah. Got it. Here. Hello. There we go. So this is verse number 32. Yata yavito bhanir darushveka swayonishu nanena bhati vishvatma bhuteshu cha tatapuman. Looking, any piece of those words, anything sounds familiar? Any word here? Of course, Dana K's vision is all. She had her eye scratched by her pet doggy, so seeing the screen will probably not be very helpful. So one word you might have heard before is Atma. Yes, Carmen?
Vispratman.
Yeah, what does Atma mean?
Atma. I forgot. It's like, it's not the soul.
It is the soul.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes, yes. So Atma means three things. It could mean the body, the mind, or the soul. Just like you say myself, you could be talking about, your mind, you could be talking about your body, you could also be talking about you, the soul within the body. So like I hurt myself. You're talking about your body. Or you could be talking about how your mind is feeling. Or you could talk about you, the soul. So the same way in Sanskrit, Atma means self, but it means soul. Now Vishva is the universe. The soul of the universe. Let's see what it says. Yeah, Lord is Paramatma, soul of the universe. Yata Yavito Bhanir. Mani is fire. Daru, this word Daru is wood. Daru is wood. Eka is one. Yoni means born of. Okay, so let's look at
Prabhu, what does
Yatha
Vishva
means, yes,
what does Vishva mean again?
universe,
Oh, okay.
universal. Vishva, yeah. Vishvambar, Vishvaroop. Vishvaroop is the universal form, the rupa of the universe.
So Rupa means universe too?
No, rupa means form. That's
Oh,
why there are tidy-whitey brands in India called rupa.
oh, interesting.
Yeah. So rupa means form.
Okay.
Krishna has a transcendental rupa. Yatha means just as much as. It's usually when you'll see this is, if you look here, you'll see yata, and it's followed later on in the sentence by a tata. Tata, it's just like therefore, a comparison, just like thus, or so it's a comparing, just like this, therefore that. Everybody understand? ¿Entiendes?
Yeah.
Okay, so yata tata. Like for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Dehinos min yata dehe, just like how we're changing our body, komram yovanam chara, from boyhood to old age. Tata, therefore, dehanchara praptir. Similarly, or you could say just as, similarly, therefore similarly, at the time of, at the end of the body, we are also changing our body. And the spiritually wise person is not affected by such a change. Yatha Yavino Bhanir, Darushveka Swaryonishu. So here's a comparison that's being made. Just like wood is surcharged, it has fire in a potential state within it. Is there yogurt in milk? Is there butter in milk? Carmenji?
I don't think so.
In a potential state, yes. The only way you can get butter is from yogurt, from milk. You have to churn it. You have to churn it. You have to know the secret to get it out of the milk.
Interesting.
So, how do you get fire out of wood? You got to create some friction,
Yeah.
A little secret. And so here, Prabhupada, I believe, is going to discuss the secret of understanding the super soul within the heart of everything. So just as yata, he, exactly like, the avahita, which means they're charged with potential, it's within it. Vani, fire. Usually the word fire is agni, but here's vani. Darustu, in wood. Eka, one. Do you know this word? There's, some numbers?
The what?
How do you say 3 in Sanskrit?
3? I don't know numbers in Sanskrit.
It's
Is it
3.
like treaty?
Yeah. 3 or trini. Trini, yeah. 3 dhatu. So 3 is 3 in Sanskrit. Ekam, dve, trini, or 3. So it's very similar. The only one that's then in chatur is 4. Pancha, 5. Pancha tattva. Sat, sapta, ashta, like Ashtanga Yoga. Nava, dasha. Nava is similar. 9, nava, dasha, 10. So eka, swa yonishu. Swayonishu. So just like, okay, then we're continuing on, looking at the words. Nana, Eva. Nana, oh yeah, Nana means different, like varieties, different kinds. Nana, different kinds. Bhati, illuminates. Vishvatma, this, the Lord is a Paramatma. Bhuteshu, the living being. Tata, therefore, in just the same way, Puman, the Purusha, the Supreme Purusha. So here's the translation. The Lord, as the Super Soul, pervades all things, just like fire permeates wood. So butter permeates milk. You just got to know how to get it out. So it appears to be of many varieties. So the Lord, there's fire all that you see. Look around your apartment. What do you see? Tell me what you see.
A window,
Window?
a desk, doors, walls, a bed, mirrors, a painting of Krishna.
Okay. So it's lots of different variety of things, but there's one thing that's inside of all of those things. Maybe not so much the window. How about the window frame and the curtains and the wall? It looks like, actually there's fire within all those things. If it can go on fire, then fire, it has a potential. Fire is manifested out of it, because fire, it means the fuel, the potential of it, the potentiality of it. So you're seeing all kinds of different things, but there's just one thing that's there, present in all those things. ¿Entiendes?
So, okay, so there's one thing and everything, and that would be
The element of fire, the potentiality of, like when you eat, what did you eat for breakfast today?
I haven't had breakfast yet.
What do you
That was
think
the
you
right
might
morning.
eat for breakfast?
Garanga potatoes.
Garanga potatoes. So will there be any carbohydrates in there? Should be carbohydrates. Calories? Will there be calories?
Yeah.
Calories. So you burn calories. That's fire. That's the fuel. So when we speak about fuel, you actually speak about fire. The potentiality of burning. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So you have a fire in your stomach, and then you feed that fire with more fire, more fuel. You have the potentiality of what does fire do? It takes elements and transforms them. It takes energy or calories out of it, heat, energy, and it produces it transforms the product. It makes a waste product and an energy product. So your stomach takes the food and gets the energy product, and then turns the rest into a waste product. So that means that the energy product is the fire product. ¿Entiendes?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look around your room, you said a door, wall. Can any of these things go on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want that to happen, but the fire is already, the potentiality is already there. So it looks like there are many different things, but inside there's this one potentiality that's there, this one energy that is there, that is fire. So similarly, the Lord pervades all things. And he looks like Nana Eva, Naneva, looks like many different varieties of things. But Eka, how many of the Lord is there?
How
Just one
many?
Lord. Just one
Oh,
Lord.
okay.
One Puman. One absolute person.
I thought you were gonna say how many energies does the Lord have?
Oh, okay. He has multi-energies, yes. But there's one Lord that's there within everything. Specifically in this form of the super soul. That makes sense?
Yeah. So Krishna, there's one Lord, but he's like the super soul and a lot of things.
Yeah, and not even just a lot of things. Everything. He is
And everything.
he is in this Bluetooth mouse, and he's also in this other Bluetooth mouse. But he also happens to be in an iPhone or in a mug because he's within the heart of all creatures. He's inside of the pages of this book.
Wait, can I
Oh,
share something real quick?
yes.
Okay, so right now the Krishna house here is kind of going through like a COVID situation.
Oh my God.
It's so interesting. The hurricane happened and then it's like it brought COVID with it. So since like COVID, it's like all these tiny like particles, germs, and whatnot. So there's souls in those different, like germs, and then
Yep.
Krishna
Yep.
there. But does that mean like these souls are like revengeful, so they're attacking the devotees?
I don't know. I usually, yeah, there's all kinds. If you get a particular body, then there's some kind of inclination of a desire to be in that body. And it's also deserved, but it's also desire. Like if you want to eat without any kind of restriction, then there is, what is called a piggy's body. If you want to sleep without restriction, there is a bear's body. If you want to be violent, now I say without restriction. I'm not really without restriction because even a tiger. How often does a tiger kill? Tiger kills generally at most every 5 days, every 7 days. They do their kill and then they eat and finally when they're very hungry and the hunger turns into hanger, they go and capture some creature and kill it.
Mhm.
There is a story in the what is it called? The Gita Mahatmya that is from the Padma Purana. And there is a goat and he is being chased by a tiger. And he's running and the tiger's chasing him. Now, goats are not that speedy. The tiger's getting very close. And he, at least goats are good for like mountainous ranges and stuff like that. But so the tiger is chasing him, and the goat gets to this area, and he just stops. He stops running, and the tiger is chasing him. But the tiger gets to that area, and the tiger stops pursuing the goat. And the goat says to the tiger, "Why aren't you trying to kill me and eat me?" He said, "I don't know. Just don't feel hangry anymore. Why aren't you running?" He said, I don't know. I just don't feel fearful anymore. And so he goes, they're feeling this very shanti, very peaceful. They're feeling in this very peaceful way. And so they see a monkey sitting on a large boulder. They go up to the monkey and they say, "What's going on here? I was previously in great anger and hunger, chasing this goat to kill him. And the goat was running in great fear. He has now lost his fear, and I have lost my anger and my hunger. So let me see. I'm going to open up Gita Mahatmya. And I don't even know which. I can tell you. Hold on one second. Somewhere. Well, the goat. Okay, yes, I found the. This is specifically related to chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. Da, 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 da. So Devashama, with great respect and reverence, fell at the feet of the yogi and inquired, how can you attain complete peace of mind? At that time, the yogi, who had complete knowledge of the Supreme Personality of God and Lord Krishna, advised Devashama to go to the village of Solpur and meet one Mitravan, who was a goat herder by profession. Just kind of scrolling through. I think the goat herder also. So they went to. I guess this is actually multi-layer story. But basically, somebody chanted chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita daily. See, this is the reason why we're studying these slokas. You see, they chanted chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita daily, and that whole atmosphere became so spiritualized that even the tiger and the goat, even the atmosphere became so spiritualized, they became free from fear, hunger, anger, etc. There's another story I know a little better. There's a story of a Brahmana. Many of these stories talk about Brahmanas who have fallen from grace, that have developed bad character, bad habits. And so there's this one Brahmana. He was born with great musical talent. And as a talented musician, he was hired by the king. And being hired by the king, he got all kinds of posh but degraded association, all kinds of rich, aristocratic debauchees, just wealthy but also ill-behaved. And so in that association, he also became just the same. And he also married a woman of the same character. They would cheat on each other. They would, perform some gambling, maybe a little criminal activity. And so the wife was cheating on this Brahmana. And the Brahmana at some point came to know about it. And when the wife became to know about her husband knowing about it, she just decided to kill him. So she killed him.
Oh my God.
And then the book goes on to describe that he later on died due to some venereal disease.
That is intense.
So they both go to see Yamaraj, the Lord of Death. And they suffer greatly, and they go take birth as birds. And one of them takes birth, the husband takes birth as a vulture, and the wife takes birth as a parrot. Now the thing is that the husband, I think both of them, but at least him in the story, for some special reason, he could remember his past life. Now this didn't create any kind of spiritual vision. He just saw, he came across that parrot. He was like, I'm gonna kill her. That lady, and all kinds of pejoratives. She killed me, I'm gonna kill her. And so he just went after her, and they were fighting and fighting and fighting. Now, oftentimes, this is the predators great opportunity to catch two creatures in a brawl and some other great. So a hunter was watching this, and with his bow and arrow, he shot an arrow and shot them both right through the wings. And so they fell down to the forest floor. And on the forest floor, there was the decayed remains of a human being. A human skull was there, and their heads fell into the area of the skull, which was filled with the forest rainwater. They drowned in that water. In that water, they drowned, and then again they went to see Yamaraj. But in this circumstance, he said, "Oh, you guys are free. You're done. Your karma is completely wiped out. Go to the spiritual world." And they're like, "What?" And they said, "Well, this person, that skull, the water of the skull of the person, was somebody who chanted such and such Bhagavad Gita every day, and you have been purified by the touch of the water contained in their decayed skull."
Wow. That is crazy.
Another story, this is Lord Shiva telling his wife the glories of Bhagavad Gita. And he has a story for each chapter, an amazing story for each chapter. One story was a husband and wife. They were brahmanas, but they became like criminals. And so their next life, they were stuck as ghosts. And there was also somebody who was in the form of a tree. Now, ghosts sometimes reside in these old trees. They take shelter of old banyan trees or different trees. And so there was another soul who was somehow had been forced to be taken birth as a tree and was stuck in that situation. And the wife was asking the husband, how can we get out of this situation? This is not fun. Now, what is a ghost? A ghost is somebody who's been kicked out of their body. Just their subtle body is there, no gross body. So you have the mind, you have the desires, you have your subtle senses, the desire to taste, the desire to hear, but you have no real body to actually carry out those desires. So it's like, this very frustrating. Like they say, the hungry ghost, the angry ghost, it's a uncomfortable, and therefore ghosts are usually malevolent beings, because they're oftentimes in that situation due to bad decisions, and they're also quite unhappy in that situation. And so what can they do other than get into the consciousness of those who have not fully strong consciousness protection? They don't have strong auras, strong psychological makeup. Then they can, take advantage of that. Therefore you see sometimes somebody living under a bridge and he's talking to somebody. We think he's talking to nobody, but he has all kinds of personalities to have taken advantage of his weakened condition. Therefore, he can't even distinguish what is the voice of himself between other voices. There was one kid was coming to our temple, homeless kid, and he said, when I don't take the meds, the voices tell me to kill everybody. Should I take the meds? Can I just chant this mantra? As I chant the mantra and take those damn meds. You got to do what you have to do. You have a particular ailment and you got to address it. So she asked her husband, how can we get out of this situation? And so she said in Sanskrit, because she was a Brahmana and they spoke Sanskrit. She said, how can I get out of this situation? The husband said, well, you have to know what is spirit. You have to know what is the self. You have to know what is karma. And so she responds, What is spirit? What is the self? What is karma, O husband, O great person? But she accidentally chanted half a shloka of the Bhagavad Gita because she accidentally parroted half a verse that Arjuna spoke. So Arjuna, in the 8th chapter, Krishna just 7th chapter, Krishna started speaking all this stuff. At the beginning of 8th chapter, Arjuna says, Kim tad brahma, kim adhyatma, kim karma purushottama. What is spirit? What is the self? What is karma? What is fruit of activities? O Supreme Person. So she said those same words to her husband, and immediately her and her husband were poof, no longer ghosts, and even the tree, poof, was free for the tree that they resided in. They were no longer stuck in that situation just by accidentally chanting half of one of these verses. So this is why we do this study.
Wow. That is crazy.
Would you like to hear one more story?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So there was a person. Usually they have some bad backstory, usually a greedy Brahmin or something. He was born as a buffalo, and as a buffalo, he was under the shelter, under the service of a crippled man who would often overwork him. So he was like one of these like donkeys or like these basically beasts of burden, and he was just carrying all these heavy loads. And so one time, this beast was this buffalo was being employed to carry some big thing through town, and it was so burdensome that he just collapsed out of exhaustion, and he was dying. And so all these people in the village surrounded the buffalo with great compassion. They realized that this creature is soon to leave its body, and so they felt whoever this is somebody who is suffering. So they can try to bring it back to life, but let's actually please offer our credits, our piety, the good results of whatever we've done pious. Let's give some of that to this buffalo. And so they all made a prayer. Oh Lord, please grant some of my piety, the good action that I've done. Please give some of that to this buffalo, because this buffalo I see right now is a suffering condition, and he needs a change in his karma. Please give some of our good karma. Take it away from us and just give it to him, some of it. And so in the crowd, this one prostitute was there. And so she came and she said, I don't know if I've done anything pious. I don't know if I have piety. This is not a very clean profession. But she said, oh Lord, if I have any pious credits, please grant some of these credits onto this poor buffalo. And so the buffalo, he passed away. Then he went to see Yamaraj, and Yamaraj said, you have completely been purified, and now you will take birth in a great family of brahmanas that are very deep and spiritual. And he said, how was this? He said, this is all due to the piety of one prostitute named blah, blah, blah in this village. So he was born, and as soon as he was a little old, he went to go find out this lady and find her and ask her, what is the thing that you've done? It was by your benefit, your credit, that I was immediately taken out of the 8,400,000 species of life journey And I've been brought to this great position of a family of deep spiritualists. Otherwise, I would have to go from one species to the next, and and even the human civilization, I would have to go through, a family that may not have deep spiritual culture, but I've been put in this blessed situation where I've immediately been offered wisdom, so very and good culture and good habits from my very birth. So he found her and he asked her, and she said, well, I don't know. I have this thing I like to sing. I learned it from my parrot. And so he went to the parrot. Dear parrot, tell me your wisdom. And the parrot said, that he was some unfortunate person, did some unfortunate thing in his past life, and was born as an orphaned parrot. And as an orphan, he was taken care of by some sages in the forest. And by being with the sages in the forest, he learned, I think it was chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita, I have to look it up. And he would like to recite it, and she said she likes to sing along with me. And so just by her casual, kind of unconscious singing of repeating the song that she heard from the parrot, she had so much piety, so much credit to deliver this buffalo from his horrible situation. And so that boy then also began to recite and meditate and chant verses of the Gita and Bhagavatam. What do you think? Good story?
It is crazy. All the stories, like,
Yeah,
wow.
is it
And the
very
holy
fun?
names and the verses are like that powerful because it's like non-different from Krishna himself.
Yes,
So it just like shows Krishna's mercy.
nice.
But in order to get that, you have to get it through the devotees. The devotees are like taught by bona fide people. So then they kind of like carry that everywhere they go, and they're used as like instrument, and as they spread it, they receive the mercy of Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, that's true. Yeah. We get Krishna's special care and attention. All right, so
Yeah.
here, the purport by Srila Prabhupada, Lord Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, by one of his plenary parts. Does anybody remember what does plenary mean?
I forgot. Plenary. It's not like different things, right? Or is it?
Plenary means complete.
Complete. Okay.
So it's a part, but this is a complete part.
Gotcha.
So one of his plenary parts expands himself all over the material world, and his existence can be perceived even within the atomic energy, matter, antimatter, proton, neutron, etc., all different effects of the Paramatma feature of the Lord. As from wood, fire can be manifested, or as butter can be churned out of milk. So also the presence of the Lord as Paramatma can be felt by the legitimate hearing and chanting of the transcendental subjects, which are especially treated in the Vedic literatures like the Upanishad and Vedanta. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a bona fide explanation of these Vedic literatures, and the Lord can be realized through oral reception of the transcendental message, and that is the only way to experience the transcendental subject. As fire is kindled from wood by another fire, the divine consciousness of man, humans, can be similarly kindled by another divine grace. His divine grace, the spiritual master, can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood-like living entity by imparting proper spiritual messages injected through the receptive ear. Therefore, one is required to approach a bona fide spiritual master with receptive ears only. And thus, divine existence is gradually realized. The difference between animality and humanity lies only in this process only. So that is, a human can hear properly, where an animal cannot. We can have, like, say we have a wonderful, great, elevated speaker speaking on the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We have somebody who can speak very beautifully, like Sachinandana Swami, Radha Swami, and then a pig comes by. He will not find this. He'll find this is no place for gentlemen. Where is the poop stall? He will not find anything of interest in that scenario. So, but if there is like a open sewer, most Americans, we don't know this, but that's what pigs eat. There's an open sewer, then he becomes quite excited. If you offer the pig cake, he's not so excited. But if you can go to the open sewer, he will be in great bliss, piggy bliss. So this is the benefit of human life. This is the one thing we can do as humans that animals cannot, and that is to use our time and energy in self-reflection and understanding the supreme absolute truth. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's translation here just says one fire. So it's one fire, ekam. It's one thing. It's one Lord, situated in pieces of wood. If you set the curtains, if the curtains come on fire, and the desk comes on fire, and the door comes on fire, it's not like it's a different flavor of fire. It's all the same fire. Blazes forth as many fires. This is one fire situated piece of wood as its natural place of manifestation, blazes forth as many fires. The one supreme Lord, the soul of the universe, Paramatma, situated in all living beings, manifest as many. Just as fire is situated, Avahita, in pieces of wood, so the soul of the universe, Antaryami Vishnu, is situated in all living beings, Bhuteshu. If fire is made to appear in pieces of wood by friction, it burns up those pieces of wood. Similarly, by practicing hearing and chanting, Paramatma is made to appear and removes the coverings of Maya on the Jiva. This is indicated by the example. So here, Prabhupada, you see Prabhupada is taking the great inspiration as the Guru is repeating the words of the previous Gurus. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur appeared around 400 years ago, and Prabhupada is repeating the same message that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is given in this his commentary. And this is from a study guide. Let's see. During the creation, Vasudeva's Karanakshay Vishnu enters in each universe that is called Garbhodakshay Vishnu. He remains transcendental despite the fact that he appears to be in matter. That was the previous verse. Then he enters in the heart of each living entity and into all matter. He is known as Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Vishnu. Again, he remains transcendental. And then he references the purport that we just read. As the super soul, the Lord Vasudeva enters everything in each universe. Generally, the conditioned living entity's mind is filled with desires. Based on those desires, the super soul is inspired to reciprocate with the conditioned living entity. He connects the soul with his own external energy, Maya, so that the soul can experience matter. However, the living entity desires his connection with Krishna's energy, His connection with Krishna's energy is changed to one of service in the spiritual world. The super soul inspires that living entity differently. And so then the next purport, that point will be emphasized. All right. Wrong button. All right. Some reflections. Any reflections? Anybody? Okay. Armin, anything you're going to take home with you today with this, with all the stories? You mentioned some things. Maybe she stepped away. How about you, Dana K?
Gosh, there's so much. Which one do I pick? um, whew. Remembering Krishna's in everything. Krishna's even here right now. Whenever I'm suffering, whenever I'm, he's in everything. He's here. So, thank you. I loved all of the stories. They were so great.
Yeah, the Gita Mahatmya is very cool book. Let me pull up again this practice the birth. Yata Hyavihito Vanir. Yata Hyavito Vanir. Vanir is fire. Avihita means charged. Well, let's move this picture. Yata Yavito Vanir. Yata Yavito Vanir. Fire. Can you make fire with your fingers? I don't know if you can see anything. You can see fire. How do you make fire? Yato Yavito Vanir. Darushveka Svayonishu. Darushveka Svayonishu. It's one fire, and it seems to it's appearing, manifested, born of wood. Naneva Bhati Vishvatma. Naneva Bhati Vishvatma. So Tatapuma, similarly, this person is appearing in varieties, nana, varieties of beings. But it's the one, again, one being, just like it's one fire. One potential energy that is that's hidden within everything. Nanena Bhati Vishvatma Bhuteshu Tatapman. Yata Hyavito Bhanir Dharushveka Svayonishu. Naneva Bhati Vishvatma Bhuteshu Tatapuman. Yata Hyavito Vanir Darushveka Svayonishu. Naneva Bhati Vishvatma Bhuteshu Tatapuman. Carmen G is back. Any reflections, Carmen?
Reflections. So one thing is that our souls are full of desire, right? And I was thinking about like how insane it is that if we desire something then that's like the sort of thing that we'll get in the next lifetime, but it has to be like earned, but at the same time desire plays a big part.
Yeah.
So
we have our internal desire that is being corrupted. And I guess there's two ways of looking at it. There's some clarification I need on this one. You have your internal desire that is corrupted, just like the light of a filament of a light bulb. If this light bulb is blue, the light that comes out of the filament may be white, but the blue covering is actually changing its expression. So the soul's desire has nothing to do with material desire, but it's been corrupted, and that corruption is our attachment to enjoying in this material world. So that's one idea is this kind of the desires going out and it's being corrupted. And another idea is that there's desires flowing through the mind, and the soul is, due to its proximity, it's identifying with those desires and reaching out and holding on to those desires, that this is my desire. So one is like it's coming out and being corrupted. The other understanding is it's a holding on to something that is foreign to oneself and identifying it as oneself. So that's going to be a question I can ask on Wisdom of Sages. We'll ask that question. Let's see. I think it's a good one for also Chaitanya Charan, the spiritual scientist. I believe I asked this question before, but I want more clarification on it. I think I asked it somewhere else.
right, so it's like so it's like your soul is there, right?
Yeah.
And it's not the body that has all these desires, but rather the soul. So the soul carries all these desires, but
well, the desires are part of the mind, and then the second understanding is the desires are part of the mind, and we are identifying the desires as our own.
wow.
But then somehow that is connected to a perversion of our actual original desire. Original desire of the soul is just simply to love and to experience the joy of love.
Oh my God, that just like my brain just like exploded. Okay, so the desires of the mind, we have desires that are in the mind, but we identify those as our own desires.
Yes.
But then we have our original desires, like that are with our original dharma or original position and whatnot. And so then that's there, but then we're seeing things like through the mind, body, and the senses.
Yep.
So then those would be like our colored glasses. So then our soul has a like desire to be fulfilled, and that's like by true love. So like it's trying to like reciprocate. But in the material world, things are like perverted.
Ramananda, you just think so. It's like Ramananda walks by and he's like kind of scrunched down. It's like the kid in the camera meme.
Okay, so then it's like then the soul is seeing things through the colored glasses, and that would be the mind, body, and the senses, right? The subtle body.
Yeah.
So then it's like mistaking these things as pleasure. But then so like our soul is constantly trying to run away from distress and pain, but the material world is full of pain. So then
Yeah.
the only thing that we would, well, that would fix that is like going to like above the modes to something more eternal, which is like Krishna and the Parampara and whatnot. And that would be like,
It seemed a little choppy right there. Could you repeat the last sentence?
huh?
Could you repeat the last sentence? It was a little choppy.
Oh, you're like blurring out too.
Can you get off the internet? It's messing up the connection.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So then we have to transcend the modes, and that would be Krishna and the Pampara and whatnot. So then once we feel like true love, which is like the highest pleasure, then despite our external condition, we will feel satisfied.
Yes. Yes. And if we meditate upon Krishna, he is himself beyond the mode. So by connecting with Krishna, then we transcend. That was the verse. Bejire munio tagre bhagavantam madhokshajam shatvam vishuddham shemaya kopante anutaniha. So Bejire munio tagre, in the beginning, Agra, the very beginning, all the great sages, the munis, they did this. They engaged in loving devotional worship. Bhagavatam adhokshajam, unto that Lord who is beyond the realm of the mind and senses, and they thus achieve perfection. Vejre muni otagre bhagavantam adhokshajam sattvam vishuddham. This is because the Lord is vishuddha sattva. He is beyond even sattva. Shemaya. They are their real results, their rightful inheritance, the result. Shemaya kalpante anutaniha. Anu, when they follow, those who follow, the past is what they did and they achieve perfection. And us, if we follow them, we follow the same, we will also be come to the stage of Vishuddha Sattva. Because the Lord is Shuddha Sattva. When we meditate upon him, then we also become Vishuddha Sattva, purified, pure goodness, spiritual level. So he's, just like if you hang out, what happens to the cold, dark iron rod when it associates with fire?
It becomes bright and red and hot.
Yes. So its qualities become transformed by that close association. And it can even light other fires. So as it says, by the grace, we get it from we're as a fire is kindled from another fire, the divine consciousness of man can be similarly killed by another's divine grace. His divine grace, the spiritual master, can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood-like living entity by imparting proper spiritual messages injected through the receptive ear. Therefore, one is required to approach a proper spiritual master with receptive ears only, and thus divine existence is gradually realized.
Wait, Prabhu, I have another question.
Yes.
Okay, so I was told that, like, this is, like, we have the body, right? And then we have the soul. But, like, each thing on the body, like the skin cells, the organs, the blood cells, and whatnot, those are also other souls, but we kind of, like, won in the race, sort of. So then it's like,
you wanted to be God. You got your whole universe. You're walking around with the universe. And you're the boss of that body.
So then there's like souls, like it's like we're sort of like sharing the body, but we're like in charge of the body, sort of, or like.
But you're the boss. They get to be a soul of a cell, a tiny cell, a bacteria cell, skin cell,
Right.
or bone cell. But you're the boss of the whole thing.
Ew. I don't know how to feel about that. Okay, so then
This
what?
city.
It's so like mind blowing because then, like we could like feel the hands and whatnot, but we're like in charge of the body.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, that's so interesting.
But for example, your consciousness spreads throughout all those cells. For example, you can be given a kidney transplant. And if you're given a kidney transplant by somebody who really likes chocolate, you'll find for the next few weeks you'll really want chocolate because their consciousness is dominating those. They are like, like you see some movie where there's like some alien race, and then there's like the queen alien or the ant, and their consciousness dominates the minor creatures. So, like this one devotee, he got a kidney transplant from his wife. He hated chocolate, but as soon as he got her kidney, he loved chocolate. He was going through like the cupboards at midnight just to eat some chocolate, and that lasted for a few weeks until his consciousness dominated all of those cells.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's still so gross though.
You're frozen.
It's like all these like souls just randomly on the body. Oh my God. Oh,
It crashed. All right. Did that make sense?
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So Carmen, you ready to do some chants?
Yeah, but I
There's
think you'd
some
have to
delay
like go
here.
through the whole thing again because I was gone when you were reciting the verse.
Okay. Yatha yavito bhanir
Oh, do I say
darushveka vayonitu. Yeah. I think we got a delay.
Oh no, Prabhu, you're breaking up. You're like moving really
Let
slow.
me do it here. Let me mute here.
How's this? Oh, quiet. Laptop.
Wow.
Quiet. How's that?
Much better.
Okay, so Yata Yavito Vanir.
Yata ya vahita vanir.
Yata Yavito Vanir.
Yata ya vahita vanir.
Yata Yavi Havit Yata Hya Vahito Vanir.
Yata ya vahita vanir.
Yata Hya Vahito Vanir.
Yata ya vahita vanir.
Yata Hya Vahito. Yeah, I gotta work on this one. Yata Hya Vahito Vanir.
Yata ya vahita vanir.
Darushveka Swayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka Swayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Naneva Bhati Vishvatma.
Naneva bhakti wait, what?
Vishvatma.
Vishvatma.
Yeah. Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Yata yavahito vanir.
Yatahya vahita vanir.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Nanena bhati vishvatma.
Naneva bhakti vishvatma.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Yata yavihat. Let me see. I'm trying to do my eyes closed. Yata yavahito vanir.
Yatahya vahita vanir.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Naneva bhati vishvatma.
Naneva bhakti vishvatma.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Yata yavahito vanir.
Yatahya vahito vanir.
Yata yavito vahito vanir.
Yatahya vahito vanir.
Yata yavahito vanir.
Yatahya vahito vanir.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Naneva bhati vishvatma.
Naneva bhakti vishvatma.
Naneva bhati vishvatma.
Naneva bhakti vishvatma.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Yata yavahito vanir.
Yatahya vahito vanir.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Darushveka svayonishu.
Naneva bhati vishvatma.
Naneva bhakti vishvatma.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Bhuteshu cha tata puman.
Okay. All right. I think that's good practice for us. All right. What is Brahma? What is the self? What is karma? Oh, great person. She just asked her wife, accidentally asked her wife, her husband, half a verse of the Bhagavad Gita and was instantly liberated.
Wow.
All right, so that's it. We're two more verses for this chapter. Two more verses, and then we'll be finished. We'll do we'll have a summary. So we have 3 more classes.
Oh no.
And then we can dive into something else. We can dive some Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita. Maybe I'll check in with Kashtuba. Maybe there's something we can do as on a bigger level with their school, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
As long as the classes keep going, because I like everyone's association and your classes are amazing and they're literally probably one of the biggest highlights of my entire week. So
Me too.
Die. Thank you. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you.
I always look forward to them. Thank you.
All right. So we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Yeah, Dana Kate, you were there. You go to the Bhakti Center classes often too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Oh,
was
yeah, that was fun.
Yes.
At the end of the month, I have another class. The end of the month.
Yay!
So we'll see.
Carmen should start coming to them too. All
If
of
you
them.
can, 7:15 a.m.
7:15. So you do them at the end of the month?
I get 2 classes a month at the Bhakti Center. And so they send me the verses, and then I go through the whole calendar. I try to pick a verse, and then so it could be any day of the week. I think the next time it's going to be a Sunday, maybe a Saturday or Sunday, but it'll be at 7:15.
Yeah, if it's a Saturday, then I can be there for the full thing. Probably Sunday too. But
Okay.
if it's like Monday through Friday, then I can only be there from 7:15 to 7:30.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. You have your ashram life.
I know, but I also like want to be attentive in your classes too. They're amazing.
What
Like
kind? It's all good.
the what?
It's all good. It's all good. It's a simply sweet. Everywhere you bite, it's delicious. Krishna conscious.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is like your classes.
What did Srila Prabhupada, so you know this sweet called Simply Wonderful?
I think so.
It's you take powdered sugar, powdered milk, and thawed butter.
Ooh.
And then you could put like a little bit of orange zest in there. You could put
Vanilla.
vanilla, yeah. But it's like they're very delicious. They're like these little sweet balls that you put it through a sift, and it's so they're very delicious. They're very simple. You know, you're not even cooking. You know, like you can have kids make this. And so Prabhupada, he was giving a lecture in Los Angeles, and so one devotee said, "Any questions?" And Nanda Kishore asked, what happens to a person if we just give him on the street one Simply Wonderful? We give him like some prasadam, one piece of prasadam. Prabhupada said, "That is wonderful, simply wonderful."
Aww.
He has not tasted such wonderful sweet in his life. If you give him wonderful, and because he's eating the wonderful sweet, that one day he'll come to your temple and become wonderful. And the devotees say, "Jai!" And then Prabhupada says, "Therefore, it is simply wonderful. Go on distributing this simply wonderful. Your philosophy is simply wonderful. Your prasadam is simply wonderful. You are simply wonderful. And Krishna is simply wonderful. The whole process is simply wonderful. And he acts wonderfully, and he's acting wonderfully. Who can deny it?" And the devotee said, "Prabhupada is simply wonderful."
Aww.
And Prabhupada said, "That is right. All right. And you can become, everyone, all right, have kirtan."
That is really cool.
Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot. Simply wonderful. Jai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Harika. Oh my god. What?